Hi everyone and welcome back to Homesick Part 2. So, we've knocked down the first door and we're ready to move on from the first part of the game. So, we wake up and the bed has these weird black stains on them. This means that I guess this is supposed to mean that we are leaking some kind of body fluid, but as I said before, I don't think we're a zombie or even living, because this place has been empty for a long time. And if we have been in a coma for all this time, we would have been dead already. So let's move in through the door that we knocked down in the darkness, and let's go into the community room where we heard all those voices before. There are no people here because this place is abandoned, but there are some stuff that we're gonna look at. And here are the flowers that we are supposed to water, and we need to find a new water source and a new bed, because you cannot sleep in the same bed. If the bed has turned black, you cannot sleep in it again. So let's start by opening this. Nothing there. And here are a note. This note leaves a few clues to the codes on the drawers and also what to do with the cabinets. The first part says, "Be careful, as sometimes the filing cabinets will tip over if the top drawer is open and the bottom drawers are empty." This is a clue, and you'll see where it fits in later. The top drawer lock in all filing cabinet uses the same formula for the combination. I tried to make it easy to remember. The formula is 0, 0, followed by the drawer number. 0, 0, number. You see, 0, 0, number in the middle. Here are the instructions to reset the combination. Turn the shackle 90 degrees so notch on shackle is aligned with the notch in the lock body. Press and hold the shackle down. Set the dials to your combination by lining up middle of numbers with red stripe. Lift and return the shackle to closed position. Scramble the dials to lock. The last part really doesn't matter at all, because we cannot do anything with these drawers, but it's just neat. And this one is locked, so 0, 0, 1, and 1. And there we go. Now we can open this drawer, and this just contains a lot of pictures. They all do, I can tell you that. So this is an oil rig, and this, what, I don't know what this is actually. It looks like some kind of oil fire maybe. They're pouring out something and there's a lot of smoke. I don't know what it is. This whole thing is about destroyed environments and greed. So I guess that's what the pictures are supposed to symbolize. And here is a newspaper. And the newspaper says, let's see, I have to check my notes. New Times, issues number 48. Energy boom shows no sign of slowing down. The District Energy Commission released a statement showing energy production is at an all-time high, with projections of increased production throughout the coming year. Stocks in mining, energy production and energy transmission industries are similarly high. Several environmental and community organizations, however, continue to express warnings that the Energy Commission should shift energy production to more renewable and less hazardous sources. And on the second side, the right side, the black box says classified. And there is just a lot of ads. I will read them for you. Like reading comics, love drinking milkshakes, come down to Super Shakes, Burton-on-Trent. 10% off with this voucher. And in the middle, life is beautiful, you are beautiful. No regrets, don't look back, move on and become a stronger person. Coral Canopy. And furthest to the right, Twin Support Service Specialist Lewis. I will always be there for you. Number 7461 321 Butcher Avenue. Alright, so we know they were dealing with energy. All this house and apparently a lot of similar houses are all where this looks like a refinery, doesn't it? I don't know what it should be otherwise, or some kind of factory maybe. It almost looks like one of those paper mills, but I don't think it is. I don't know. Some kind of factory. And this one is locked, and here we have to think. Let's see, 25, 23, 21, 19. So, 0, 0, 1, and 9. And there we go. More pictures. This is an oil fire, that's for sure. Look. And these fumes are extremely toxic. If you're living in the US, you know about the soldiers who suffered some, I don't know what they call the disease after the war in Iraq and Kuwait, where there were a lot of burning oil wells. So this is really, really bad for everyone. And I guess this is supposed to be fertile soil versus sand, because that's a subject that comes up all the time, that the land is dying, which it is in our world too, because of too large scaled farming with only one sort of. And here you see they fall over. That's another tip. We're going to use it down there. But we're just going to get back and take the last cabinet over here. And there are some more pictures. This is, I guess, that's an oil tanker and a ferry. And the fun thing about this is that they talk about energy. They never talk about, I guess this is the wreckage of the oil tanker. Because this is, if the oil tanker looks like this, it's really, really bad. And this one is empty. What was I saying? I don't remember. I'll get back to it later, I guess. Let's see, 53. Right. Let's open this one, and here's our more pictures. These are a flood of some sort. Floods are an effect of deforestation. So I guess that's the point of these. People have chopped down the woods and made some huge changes to the environment. They are also, in some cases, the result of changing weather patterns due to, I don't know what it's called in English. It has to do with the environment. I can't remember what it's called in English. But the changing weather patterns lead to a lot of rain in very short periods, and then just droughts throughout the other parts of the year. And this is something that we are facing already, but here in this universe it's way, way, way worse. So let's see. Here is another note that we can read, and it says Memorandum. Summary of recent settlements amount. This contains the case name and settlement amounts for the cases involving personal or property injury due to pollution or violation of environmental or safety laws settled within the past year. All of these figures are confidential and have not been disclosed to the public. Community Coalition for Safe Water Water Board, $8,925. Michael Metz, probably, Future Light Energy Corp, minus 10% liability, $17,850. Fight for Clean Air and District Energy Commission, $12,750. Garrett Stone and Mining Solution, minus 15% liability, $36,250. People for the Protection of Tribal Lands and Interior Lands Department, $146,401. Fossil Oil Incorporated, $183,250. And some of these words I cannot translate because I cannot make sense of them. But maybe some native speakers can, so I'll just leave it to you. This one is locked and we need to get into this door. So as we read and as we saw over there, if you pull out the top drawer and the bottom drawers are empty, it's gonna fall over, and this one is empty. So let's see, 0, 0, 1, 4. There we go. And then we're gonna pull this out and move away, and it's gonna fall over. So we can enter this door. And here we're gonna pick up this one because we're gonna need it. And then we're gonna read the newspaper. Let's see. I have to get to my notes again. New Times, issue 137. Explosion may be worse than previously estimated. The explosion of the Northeast power plant earlier this month may have been worse than previously estimated. The explosion, which was thought to have killed 19 workers and injured dozens more, were caused by a malfunctioning valve in the cooling tower. New reports indicate there were additional workers killed in the blast that are being uncovered in the ongoing reconstruction of the tower. And this is really, really bad, because the company has no idea how many people were working there and who they were. And they also had an explosion in a cooling tower which contains radioactive substances, and they are just they don't give a fuck. They just let people die. And this is the really, really, really horrible thing about this. This is, in Homesick, the capitalism is running amok. I think I already said that, but I'm going to say it again. This is what happens when greed gets to rule. Alright. So we have an entire region, at least, that has died, an entire country suffering, and still these people don't give up their money and income. They don't want to change. They don't want to do anything, even though they themselves are going to suffer in the end. This is stupidity on the highest level. But let's move on. On the right side, classified. We're starting from the left, working to the right. To you, I'm sorry. I wish I could love you, but I just don't. Sincerely, me. That's unnecessarily cruel, don't you think? Next, wanted, lizard minions. Skin suit provided. Beekeeping and working with children certificates desirable but not necessary. I don't want to know what that's about. Really? And in the middle, listen to John C. Dwork and Adam Curry deconstruct the media on Tell them Sir Brian sent you. I think people are going Cocoa. Totally Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Official warning. To the right. Failure to evacuate during a real emergency result in health impacts coma, sensitivity to sunlight, muscle weakness, bubbling of the skin and necrosis. All these sounds awfully lot like radiation poisoning. And for those who don't know, necrosis means that the body starts to decompose even though it's still living, so to speak. One common place you find necrosis is in bed sores of different kinds. It's just when the muscles and tissues start to rot, even though it's still attached to a living body. And well, that's really bad, because if you have a necrotic part and if it's too big, you are gonna get what is called, we in Sweden we call it corpse poisoning. You get poisoned by the dead parts, and it's really, really bad. And well, all of this is really, really bad, actually. Just remember this. There have been an explosion already. People have already been exposed to radiation, and they are still just telling this stuff. They are not evacuating the workers, even though they should. And that's probably what the settlement was about in the other closet, or part of it. And now we're gonna go just check so that the lights are on, because if they're not, we're not gonna be able to move around in the nightmare. I always miss some of these. There we go. And then we're gonna get some water, and we're gonna get the water from here. See? There's a bubble full of water. I don't know where it comes from. There's gotta be a leak somewhere. So we're gonna put the bucket down there, and we're gonna take our little stick and we're gonna use it there. And there we have some water. And now we got the water, and we're gonna go back this way because we can go through the other way. There is sunlight outside. And now we're gonna, let's see, there is a light button. There it is. This has to be on too, because we're gonna take this way later on. Then we're gonna go over here. No, we're not. We're gonna go this way, because if we walk out into the sun, we're just gonna stop in our tracks. So get the water and pour it on the flowers. And there we go. Healthy, pretty flowers all over the place. And now we can go back to sleep. There is a few things about this entire game, just except the environmental critics and the critics of capitalism. It's also this entire game is about longing. You can hear it in the title. It's called Homesick. Everyone that you read notes from and so forth are just longing for something different. They don't want to be here. And we're gonna get moving, so listen to the darkness. Doesn't that sound like fire? Maybe it's nuclear fire. So we're gonna get back here and down here. I didn't show you this before, but there is a door down here that we're gonna knock in. Right. There we go. And we're gonna wake up. I'm just gonna move on to the next area. And then I'm gonna finish. See, then now there's black goo here too, and we cannot lay down. So let's move on. As long as you can lay down in an area, that means that you're not done. There is something left. But when the bed turns black, you cannot lay down anymore. And then it's time to move on. So we're gonna go into the gymnasium. And as you can see, huge windows, and we can see squat outside. This room is a bit tricky because there are no self-explanatory things what you're supposed to do, like in the others where there are these dead flowers. But you have to water some flowers here too. But we're gonna do that another time. Now I'm gonna go to bed here, and since I haven't watered the flowers, I can't go to sleep. But this saves the game. And if you try to save the game after a nightmare without moving to the next area, the game will not save and you have to do the nightmare all over again. So, this is it for this time. Part 2 of my Lorethrough of Homesick. If you like this, please leave a like and a comment, press that subscribe button, and I'll be back with part 3 probably next week. So, in the meantime, have a good one. Bye bye.